Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cats. Let's play that. Today we're taking a look at Road Blaster for the TurboGrafx 16 CD. Alright, so we're actually playing Road Spirits. But come on, as soon as you saw that Earth and then those letters slowly appear, did you not think this would actually be a shoot 'em up? I was kind of wondering, like, is this actually a shoot 'em up or is this some racing game or something? Because, I mean, Road Spirits, I mean, it sounds like it's a racing game. So here's kind of funny, are you ready? And if you click no, then it lets you actually change stuff. So it's like, well, I guess more often, if somebody asks you, are you ready? The answer is no. But let's go with the blue one. Why not? Change shifting. Interesting. So you press up and down to shift to your thing. You'd think you'd press right to shift automatic. Oh. So, okay, here I am. I'll press right. That works. Okay, I'll press up, because that's what you do. But if I press down, then it shifts to automatic. It doesn't go shift to speed manual. That's not really here nor there. Oh. I wanted to listen to the songs. Well, whatever. It's all right. The West Coast. Gee, I wonder what popular animated cartoon company is centered on the West Coast. Well, we'll never know. And here we go. What are the controls? Better figure them out fast. Okay, so accelerate is the second button. I thought it would be the first button, but, well, here we are. Yeah, first button is brake. Second button is, well, it's a TurboGrafx. There is no second button. And so here we are. What's that? You wanted Outrun on your Turbo TG16 CD? You got it. You want CD quality tracks? You got it. Why did Sega never release a CD quality Outrun? I really couldn't tell ya. But here we are. Heck, you can even choose to be a blue car. Pfft, red cars. Red cars are for losers. Blue cars are where it's at. See that red car right there? We're gonna pass them in half a second. Should have bought a blue car, pal. And also, looking at the horizon, I don't know, you get like kind of a nice slow background. I mean, yeah, there's not much that's shifting or changing around, but there's not much that has to be. I forget if Outrun had parallax scrolling for the backgrounds. I don't think it did. I mean, of course it had, like, the sides would change elevation, but I mean, this game is doing that. Although, it's kind of funny because the TG16 is, despite its moniker, kind of a souped up 8-bit system. I mean, it's kind of 16-bit in some ways, I think. So, it's kind of powerful enough for this sort of game, but like, yeah, I do think this game is kind of a minor marvel. The fact that it even exists and the fact that it runs so well. The fact that it is fairly monotonous gameplay-wise is neither here nor there. Is there anything exciting we can do? Are there turbos or something? What happens if we press no? Is there a select button that's hiding around here? Oh my, what is... No, there's nothing. It's just you, and if you play your cards exceptionally wrong, the billboards. Huh. Well. Oh, it even keeps track of your time. Nice. Not even Outrun was, like, so crass as to tell you exactly how much more time you had left in the stage, although usually you can work it out from the timer. I mean, it takes about a minute to go through a stage, whereas here, I don't know, we get 3 minutes or something? Can we change the audio track? Is that... No, it's just gonna play on in the background, peacefully, but kind of weirdly. Huh. So I guess they took inspiration from Outrun, but like they forgot to take the part where something happens. I mean, I do like this core gameplay loop from Outrun, but like even Outrun had some pretty tricky turns about like halfway through the first stage, which was, well, I don't know, 3 seconds into the game. Here, for a good, like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, and I can play this game half asleep. I'm beginning to wonder if I am half asleep. Doesn't help that there's no analog steering. I mean, it's not like there's analog steering on the Genesis version, but I don't know. Just sort of rapid tapping to, like, get just the right amount of steering going on. It's a little bit disconcerting. Oh, and here we are, dynamically driving through and driving to the next place. No, apparently Sega has the patent on that. I don't know whether that's true. Oh, okay. Push any button. What's next? Oh, okay. For a second there, I saw those letters and I'm like, am I having a stroke? Is this what having a stroke looks like? But no, it was just mixed up. Are you ready? Oh, okay. BGMを選んでください. BGMを選んでください. Anyway. Alright. Now that is alright. Okay, I was going to say, how are we getting to the next one? Yeah, I also saw the next one was Key West. I like if they're keeping with the Disney font. But I was kind of wondering, like, how are we going to get from the West Coast to Key West? Because there's kind of a country in the way. But it turns out you just fly. How does your car get there? Oh, duh, you fly your car. How do you find the money to fly your car? Dude, you are an international road racer guy. you don't have such problems. You got a CD track full of CDs, you got a wide open road, and here we are, just driving until the cows come home. Although I guess maybe technically we're the ones going home. This is like the game that your parents, like you play Outrun in the arcades, and you're like, man, I love Outrun. I love grooving to those songs, just racing through these same repetitive tracks. I wish I could do this at home. And then your parents buy you this game, and you're like it's not even bad. It's kind of fun, I guess. It's a little too repetitive because, like, I don't know, 3 minutes racing a track, like, that is quite a few minutes to be spending in a track. Outrun just blows through those tracks in like a minute each. I mean, that being said, you can see like the entire game, or you can see the entire, like, you can race all the way to the end by the time you get through, like, I don't know, 3-4 tracks of this. I guess, to be fair, this is like paced a little bit more like a at-home game. Because, I mean, you play through it, and, like, it takes its time, you take its time. I mean, I guess you are in the singular in this instance. But you take your time, you play through all the tracks, you find your favorites, you ignore the ones you don't like, and you just kind of move on with your life. I wonder if this game saves the tracks as you've unlocked them. I don't know. I wonder. Huh. That would be kind of sad if it didn't, though, because, like, otherwise you'd have to spend, like, half an hour playing to get to the good ones. I mean, yeah, it's not like Outrun ever saved your tracks, but at the very least it only takes, like, what, 10 minutes tops to get to any sort of track you want? And half of those minutes are just from, like, warming up. You know, I'm just suddenly reminded that I bought the arcade 1-up Outrun cabinet. I have not used it since. Let's just say you go through hobbies at light speed at a certain point in time. Oh, jeez. It's kind of interesting because you look at the shading on the side of those VWs that we just passed there, and I don't know, it looks like it's strangely super realistic. I almost kind of blacked out and thought I was playing Donkey Kong Country or something, like there were digitized sprites. I don't know. Well, maybe those ones were. Or maybe they at least traced it off of a photo or something. Back in the day when tracing off of a photo somebody took on a digital camera was still kind of impressive, if only on a technological point. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the last stage was a little bit boring, but I've always kind of wanted to just race through those Key West, like, bridges, super long road bridges. So, playing this right here, I mean, it's kind of a dream fulfilled, honestly, so can't even get mad. We're even, look at the time. The time is just flying right by. We even got to the goal. Alright, guys. Now, you're going to see something very alarming, but do not worry. You are not, in fact, having a stroke. Oh, well, okay. First, we got to get to the Mexican road. Hey, we beat our time. Wow. 3 minutes 16 seconds, right on the dot. How much you want? How much you want to bet it'll take Mexican Road? 3 minutes 16 seconds. And the worst part is, like, okay, it's not even like anagrams of try, anagrams of next, and anagrams of road. It switches the letters between the words, and it's like, oh, you can't change a car midway through. Well, I hope you're decisive, but you can. Yeah, BGM erando kudasai. So, shake me down. All right, shake me down. I mean, it's not like there are. Did we drive? Was that like a train? Did we take an underground worm? Well, who cares? We're in Mexico now, and we've got to drive through a brown road. Wow. Not only is this kind of like the basic game, but the game is like so basic that you can even just start on full acceleration, and the game is just like, you know what? I will allow it. This game abides. And it's like, geez, game, do you have any opinions on anything? And the game is like, choose track 7. It's a real banger. 6 isn't so bad itself. It's also kind of funny that this game, like, well, I don't know if you can actually use TG16 CD games as like, you put it in your CD player and play it, but I assume you can to some extent. And it's like, I almost kind of wonder if this game would be better off as like a CD. like you get a CD with this picture of this sweet car just racing down a road on the front, and it's just like, imagine the rest of the game. And it's like, you know what? This is almost more satisfying than actually playing the game itself. It's not a bad game, I guess, but you sort of like racing games. I mean, it gets a little boring after a while. Of course, who am I to talk? I played V-Rally on the Game Boy Color for like ages, and that game only had like 1 or 2 songs. If I had played this game on the Game Boy Color, I would have blown my mind. Mostly because this is, well, I mean, obviously you don't get the CD level sound on the Game Boy Color, which is a huge bummer. I'm kind of suspecting that the CD level sound is like literally the reason this game exists. But at the same time, like the actual gameplay, the actual graphics, I mean, yeah, these are 16-bit sprites or close facsimile thereof, and so you can't like just copy them over verbatim. You gotta scale them down a little, but I feel like you could get it done. I mean, just look at Top Gear Pocket or whatever, and it's like the graphics are basically the same. So I do kind of wonder, could you have this game on the Game Boy Color? And if so, how close can you get? I don't know if I've talked about Outrun for the Game Gear, but like, well, okay, just to kind of put things in perspective, the Game Gear is sort of like an underpowered Sega Master System. Now, that being said, not many people have had a Sega Master System, so you don't really know what that entails. But basically, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a Game Boy with color. Maybe a little bit faster, although not by a ton. But anyway, you can get a reasonable port of Outrun going on a Game Gear. And so that kind of makes me wonder that, I mean, you've got to be able to get a decent port of this. Was I going so fast I like actually slid out? Also, I just realized there was a goal. So not only is there a timer, but you can also see the goal just kind of slowly ticking down. I mean, I choose not to, because I don't need that memento mori, but I don't know, maybe you'll find that interesting. Of course, you get the ultimate progress bar of them all. You get the... Oh, I wonder if I slid out because I was on the gravel, not because I was going super fast. But if you're super fast in the middle, then it's totally fine. But anyway, you guys at home have the ultimate progress bar of them all, the red progress bar at the bottom, that lets you know how much longer is left in this video. Sadly, I am bereft of that foresight, and I have no idea how much longer I'm going to be playing this game. Well, it's funny I say that, considering that I'm like the one literally in charge of stopping play. But still, here we go. Time for the goal. It's times like this that I'm very glad that I can kill time by just talking, because if not, there is a lot of time to kill. Alright, so unfortunately, I feel like I let you down a little bit because Mexican Road, I took about 20 seconds more. Sooner or later, I'm going to fail to qualify. Every time that happens, it just messes with me. Also, who is this girl? Is she like riding with us in the car? Is she us? Is she like figment of our imagination? Love affair. I feel like this game has given me answers and then some. Alright, how are we gonna get to the next one? Oh, I know, let's take a small, tiny plane. Let's do a few loop-to-loops. Like, dude, my car's in your plane. He's like, whoops. Actually, I choose to believe that this guy is such a baller that basically he, like, sells his car here. He flies to the next place and just buys a new car. Now that would be interesting. Also, I just noticed that the speedometer does not have miles per hour. This is not surprising in any way, shape, or form, but it is mildly annoying. Because, I mean, what is this, 200? I have no idea how fast or slow that... Oh, so you can just, like, spin out, even though I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, I guess I'm technically accelerating through a turn, but I mean, come on. When in the history of arcade racing games has that ever mattered, ever? And also, how do I get a sense for if I'm hitting it too hard or not? Do you just have to know? Or is there like an oh god, oh crap meter anywhere? Nah, I don't think so. Oh, but I just realized in the middle of the screen that's a check engine light. So I guess if you get into a few too many upside down escapades, then you gotta find out what kind of repair bill costs there are associated with this car. Of course, you're also the same guy who's flying, not even driving across the world, just flying across the world. So I feel like paying for a new engine is not really a big deal for you. Wow. Ugh. It's kind of funny because like there's moments like that are really only. Oh my gosh, that is really annoying. Actually, I mean. It'd be one thing if it sort of told you, like, hey man, you're trying to accelerate through a turn, don't do this, but it just it just freaks out on you, and it's like, hey, learn through context. And it's like, context means nothing if you explain nothing. But anyway, it's kind of funny, like that moment a while back where I was trying to thread the needle and like pass a car or get to the other, and it's kind of funny because like these moments are so difficult in these 2D racers, but like you play a 3D racer and it's just so much easier to judge like 3D perspective and distance and anything and relative speeds. And also too, you get a 3D racer with like force feedback, and it's like, man, all of a sudden you really get a sense for, is your car like going to skid off the road or not? I mean, I did it for a while. I mean, again, I'm still sort of an amateur, so at the same time, it's not like I was great at it, but I at least had some sense for when it was bad, when it was good. Those of you looking at the various meters up top, I don't know, you guys think I can make it? Yeah, I really don't like those like 3-minute times they give you for these races, because it's like now all of a sudden it's just kind of like one of those harsh calculations where I think it was actually harsh equations. But anyway, you basically just have to like look at your speed, look at how much. Oh, thank God there's no fuel. I feel like with all the other annoying things this game is kind of trying to throw at you, fuel just seems like something else they would pop in there, but I guess not. I also love that it's like, oh man, accelerating through that turn, you would wipe the heck out. Braking through that turn, that is a very sensible thing to do, and we will reward you by not having you wipe out. And it's like, good gosh, man. A little real-world consistency would go a long way. Not nearly as long as me in this game, though. Well, I think I will make it to the next stage, but geez, Louise, have I been playing this game for some amount of time. I don't think it's anywhere quite near half an hour, but ooh. But it is one of those things, because it's like you compare this with Outrun, and it's like, well, your game of Outrun would be gone by now. You'd have to play like another game. Here we are, like, I don't think it's 15 minutes. Nile. Okay. Well, one, what is the stroke girl going to be wearing? Not bad. I guess it's kind of Mexican style or something. But anyway, next question. Are you ready? No. Gotta choose my music. But Well, because we are probably going to be saying goodbye to this music. Oh, by the way, you just left and right switches it. I'm fine, thank you. I thought It's Alright was the best. Oh, Brazil. I thought I'm fine, thank you. Or no, It's Alright was like the best English this game had to offer, but I'm fine, thank you. That one was pretty good. Okay, see, that looks like a big enough cargo jet that you probably could legitimately fit a car in there. Four minutes on the dot. 20 kilometers on the road. Will you make it? Time to go. Oh, Brazil. I wonder if, like, the tracks are supposed to be, like, played at certain times, or it's like you're supposed to wait until you're going through Brazil. Like, but wait. I don't think we raced through Brazil. So they just included a track called Oh Brazil in a game that I think does not go through Brazil? Or maybe you go through Brazil, but it's stage 8. Well, I feel like this is a game that's very content to not ask the hard questions in life. I feel like this game is more about, like, asking the important questions in life. Like, are you okay, man? Are you alright? Thank you, I'm fine. And it just kind of, dude, are you vibing? Or are you harshing? And it's like, nah, man, I was harshing, but then I started playing this game and now I'm vibing. Just think, in 5 years, well, I was going to say in 5 years, that sort of slang will sound like poison to our eardrums, but I feel like give it a year or two and it'll start sounding like poison to our eardrums. What will slang in the future be like? Thousands of people have tried and failed to answer that question. And yet, paradoxically, thousands of people have made it happen. There's just something about racing a car on a, well, I was going to say smooth back road, but I guess this isn't really a back road. But I don't know, just pretend, abstract. But there's just something about racing a car on a back road that just kind of brings out the profundity in life. What does it all? What will the future be like? Does it matter that the future will be almost exactly the same as the current, the present? Does it matter if you don't make it to the end of the stage? I mean, what would you have found there that you can't have already found here? I mean, yeah, you can't advance to the next stage, but do we even want to? If all stages are the same, does it even really matter? Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel like all the other cars on the track are like basically my car, but in a different color, which, I don't know, a little bit annoying. I mean, hate to or drive the Outrun comparison to death, but at least Outrun had like way different cars. In fact, Outrun, you were the only Ferrari F50 on the road. That's mostly because everybody is too sensible to spend 50 grand on a used Ferrari, and then another 50 grand to rehab that used Ferrari, then another 10 grand for insurance and fees and gas, and then all of a sudden, you're not driving a Ferrari, you're driving an investment. You have an investment right there. Basically, why even drive it at that point? Might as well put it in a museum and hope it appreciates or depreciates. Well, I guess not a museum. You'd be relinquishing control. You put it in the safest climate-controlled museum of them all, your garage. I mean, it's out of the elements, and it's not like a car needs to be kept in a nitrogen like an exclusively nitrogen environment. Oh wow, I honestly did not think I would make it through this stage, but then like 4 minutes of rambling later, and bam, we're here. Oh cool, so we go back to US at some point. I mean, I am having try next redur. Tricks next redur. Is this accidentally gonna be a long play? Well, you know what? I'll never forget my time with this semi-forgettable game. Okay, let's... Yeah, sure. Let's just take a Huey from the Nile to the Swiss Alps. That's how that works, right? Or not even a Huey, a Chinook. I'll see. Back to a familiar sight. That first stage again. Oh, that's right. It's a little bit bluer, it's a little bit greener, but it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I dig on this game, and I feel like every comparison I've made with Outrun, it has come up lacking, except for the length department. And I will say, I have played, in this one sitting, I have played out this game longer than I've played Outrun in one sitting for basically every single play session I've played of Outrun, save for a particular few where it's like, sometimes, man, you just really need to vibe, and Magical Sound Shower is the only way you can do it. Yeah, I kind of understand this game, and it's like, I feel like now I've come to some sort of enlightenment where I've come to realize that it's like, yeah, you can compare this game to Outrun, but what does it matter? Does a game need to be better or worse than Outrun? Does a game need to be, like, provide a more or less compelling experience than Outrun? Does a game have better or worse music than Outrun? That's not the real question that you should be asking. The real question is, can you just zone out and play the game? After a while, let the game play you. I was gonna say let the game play itself, but no. The game is playing me at this point. And I don't mean in a bad way, I just mean in like, I look at the screen, and I just feel it. I know what action I should take next. And it's like, I remember 10 minutes ago, I was bothered by peeling out constantly throughout some of these wild turns, but now I just get it. It just makes sense to me. I understand this game's unique language, its unique grammar, and it's like, I get it. I understand when to let off the gas and when not to. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it in words. It's not the kind of concept you can express in words. It's just the kind of concept you can express in just by doing it, man. Just by doing it. I can't even hear the music anymore. It's not even about the grooving tunes or the cool backgrounds. It's just the game tells me what to do, and I do not disobey. Okay, I can kind of hear the music all the way in the background, although it is kind of annoying that it is partially muffled by the, well, not even the engine sounds, but like the screeching and squealing of the tires. This is something where, unfortunately, this game and Outrun are both terrible victims of, and that is you cannot change the engine sound. Now, some of the cool ports of Outrun for like cooler, more powerful systems like like the 3DS, but also the Switch. The Sega Ages Outrun port, by the way, is what I'm talking about. But like, they let you choose the engine sound, and so you can turn it all the way down, like it should be. Although it is kind of unfortunate, like it's one of those times where it's like, should you really be trusted to get exactly what you want? Like, are you really able to know what it is you actually want in life, or do you only think you know what you want? And upon getting it, then all you'll know, or all you'll find out, is that actually you really don't know what you want in life. Because every time I turn down those engine sounds, I don't know, just it feels like something's missing from the game. Okay, let's see. What do we got next? Easter Island. Well, the next stage begins with M, it looks like. I mean, well, I guess the next arbitrary cutoff point I can say to myself is, I like how the girl does kind of try to keep up with like the style. Or is that a different girl? I can't actually tell. I've mostly been distracted by the message. Okay, I guess the next natural stopping point. First I thought it was, oh yeah, I'll play until I lose. But then I kept not losing. So I guess maybe the next endpoint is when I run out of music. Although something tells me this game has 10 and exactly 10 stages. And like one music track for each stage. And also that I'm playing them in the wrong order. But that's fine. It's alright. Or no, I'm fine, thank you. Okay, I was also going to say, if Barcelona does not look amazing, then I will consider stopping. But gotta be honest, something about that orange, like super bright, on that deep dark blue background, it really does it for me. This is pretty good. Because I mean, the Alps, I mean, yeah, it's beautiful, and I do like that stage from Outrun too, but it's a little bit monotone, it's a little bit monotonous. I feel like I've been there, done that, and considering, or comparing and contrasting with stage 1, I basically have. But this one, it mixes it up. It mixes it up. I feel like that's one of those more important things of, well, I was going to say an arcade game, but I guess technically this is not an arcade game. But that's like one of the most important things of an arcade game, is the ability to just mix it up, to make like the next level feel just different enough. Well, I say just different enough, like it's sort of golf. You gotta like get it just right, but no, it's more of a, I don't know, battle against human effort versus novelty. But basically, you gotta make the level 2 feel different from level 1. You can't just use the exact same sprites and just call it a day. I mean, that's one of the cardinal sins that 1942, 1943 both commit, and that is stage 1 looks almost exactly the same as stage 2. Like even Vulgus, this game that came, I don't think it was exactly the first game Capcom made. Of course, that one would go to X Axis, which, okay, that game, everything looks the dang same. I mean, they mix up the backgrounds like a little bit, like imperceptibly so, but it is not quite enough. But you look at Vulgus, and it's like, you get these sort of punctuation levels where you fight through this black, like, okay, so you're fighting over, I don't know, this green rocky place, and then you fight through these like space stages, and then all of a sudden you're in this new strange biome and you're fighting your way through. I haven't gotten far enough in Vulgus to know what any sort of later stages look like, but you gotta make your stage 2 feel different from your stage 1. That being said, having it look different takes you a far bit of the way, but I guess it's not an absolute requirement, because you play something like Galaga, and it's like stage 1, stage 2. I mean, stage 2, they start firing at you. Well, in like the initial approach. Okay, maybe that's not quite true. Maybe it's just stage 2, they like start suicide diving you, but still, like, there's a difference in there. Maybe it's stage 2 to 3, but there's a pretty big difference, and it's like, once that happens, like, there's no going back, except for stage 20, or no, it's stage 20, maybe it's stage 10, but for some reason where they don't, like, fire at you, and it just, there's just something magical about that, because, like, it really does set a rhythm, this Galaga, where, like, these levels, I mean, even though they're sort of visually indistinct, like, in terms of actual feel to the player, they do feel very different. I guess, ultimately circling back to the game I'm actually playing, I mean, I'd like to say that the levels feel different and that they're getting harder, but pretty much the only actual day-to-day gameplay change I've noticed is that certain turns, if you're like taking a turn too hard and accelerating, then you will wipe out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's more. We're probably halfway, but I don't know how much more than halfway we are. Well, let's at least see the girl before we quit. Oh. Are you ready? I'm not ready. I'm sorry, game. I have to... I mean, I'll be honest. If I was a kid and I had this game set in front of me and it was a nice, happy weekend, I had all the time in the world, yeah, probably would play this game all the way through. And then the next Tuesday afterwards, because, I don't know, I wouldn't be feeling it on the Monday for some reason, I'd come back to this game and try and play through it again. But, like, I've gotten older, I've got responsibility. Who am I kidding? My only responsibility is to see what's in the next game, but I kind of want to see what's in the next game. I mean, it's an untapped world out there. And I can't just spend it playing Road Spirits, playing the exact same level over and over with a fresh coat of paint. Now, don't get me wrong, that fresh coat of paint does wonders. It's great. I mean, it almost single-handedly makes me want to play the next one. But there's a point, man. There's a point where you can only play the same stage so many times in a row. And I feel like that point is about where I got. 10? No. It'd be more like 7 or 8. But still, I'll only do the same thing 7 or 8 times in a row before I call it quits. What kind of personality trait is that? Like, I'm fine with repetitive things. I'm willing to do things over and over, but things can't be too repetitive or else I call not. Well, this game is infinite stamina, but I do not. So on that note, change car, change shift, change music. How about change game? On that note, this cat's got a scat.